Hi guys, welcome back. And today in this video we'll be talking about what is context engineering and why it's important in AI agent, especially while it does the decision making. That's what exactly we are going to be discussing in this particular video. So is this yet another fancy terminology that we need to learn today in this ever-changing AI world? Well, context engineering is going to be very important if you are building an AI agent and in multi-agent systems, because this context engineering plays a key role, at least in today's world. But then you may ask, what happened to the prompt engineering, Karthik? Because prompt engineering does exactly the same thing as well. Just to give you an example over here, as you can see, I've taken it from this course, the Build Gen AI Multi-Agent Systems and Tools for Software Testing, where I have really covered all these informations, like how we can make use of the AI agents and multi-agent system to build the tools for software testing, which is very, very popular course in Udemy. If you really not watched this course or subscribed, I highly recommend you to do so. And again, this information that I want to talk about on the prompt engineering is over here. As you can see, for any tools that we create, we used to write these many prompts. We say that read the requirement from the PDF and generate at least 10 scenarios, and then we tell what exactly is the file name, and then we also write one more prompt here with the prompt template or whatever, if you're using LangChain or Crew AI, and then you write all of these over here as like a prompt, and then you pass it to the AI agent. And while you try to run this particular code, you will notice that it is going to generate the entire scenarios for you based on the requirement, as you can see over here. And these are all happening because we are giving the prompt to the AI agent, and the AI agent is generating things for us. And that's why the prompt engineering is very, very important. But now we are suddenly saying not prompt engineering, but the context engineering is very, very important. Why exactly is that? Well, we know that prompt engineering mainly focuses on the crafting of the right information inside a single prompt. And we also saw an example that is a static and it's an one shot prompt, as you can see over here, right? That is what it is all about. This will help the AI agent to assign the role or the instruction, which can help the AI agent to identify himself that what exactly it has to do. It can be an AI agent or it can be even a tool, whatever it is. That's what this prompt are going to be helpful. But now the AI agent requires not just the instructions, like what exactly it has to do, but it also needs an instructions or some information to get the right information. That's what exactly this context engineering is all about. If this is clear so far, then let's understand what exactly is context engineering. So context engineering is an art and science of dynamically assembling the right informations and tools in the right format to help a large language model meaningfully progress through the tasks. And this is especially helpful for AI agent and the multi-agent systems with multi-tools it has, with multi-memory driven systems, to manage the context in a better way. That's where this context engineering comes in very, very handy. So this is especially helpful if your multi-agent system has got multiple different tools that it is talking to, and if you want to give the right information to your multi-agent system, context engineering is the way that you can do it. So let's understand the basics first to see how exactly the AI agents really work behind the scene to call the toolings and stuff in a nutshell, so that you can really see how you can relate all this context engineering even in a better fashion. So as you can see, this is then a simple AI agent that I have designed for my course in Udemy, which talks about how you can build an AI agent using LangChain, also test the AI agent and the multi-agent systems, as well as the RAG and chatbots using LangChain. In that course, I have talked about how an AI agent can be built with these toolings, as you can see over here. It also has got a RAG system. So this is basically a single agent with 4 tools, maybe 5 tools, which does this operation. But what if you're going to have a multi-agent system, something like this, which is going to have multiple different agents, and each and every agent is going to be associated with multiple different tools, right? So you will notice that now for a long running tasks with a lot of tools involved for a single agent, you will notice that there are going to be a lot of different calls going on from the AI agent with multiple different tools, and these tools will be giving a lot of responses, like a big gigantic JSON context to the AI agent to make the decision to analyze and give it to the large language model to get the response out for the given tasks. This will actually be using a lot of tokens. I'm telling you, while I'm saying lot of tokens, it is really quite a lot of tokens for an AI agent to pass it to the large language model. And while you pass these many tokens to the large language model, you will end up in quite a lot of different problem. And one of the problem it is going to cause is the exceeding the context window for the large language model, because you know that every large language model has got a context window like 8K, 16K, and the max of like 128K. So if you pass these much data to a large language model, then beyond that it's going to exceed the context window, and then the large language model will not give you the right information that you're looking for. If your token is also exceeding beyond the limit, you're also going to be incurring quite a lot of cost, because every single token costs you while it is going to be processing it, right? That is one of the major problem. And also, as mentioned by Drew, it is also going to cause even more issue, not just about exceeding the context window, but the cost. And also it is going to be even more problematic with the context, something like context poisoning, context distractions, context confusions, and context clash. This is even more beyond what we are really talking about. I'll quickly show you what these are all about from the Drew's post itself. So as you can see, based on Drew, what he says is that the context poisoning is when a hallucination or other error makes it into the context where it is repeatedly referenced. So this is one of the example which has really happened in the DeepMind team while they were calling out like context poisoning in the Gemini 2.5 technical report. If you just go this link, you will have a look at that. While playing a Pokemon, the Gemini agent would occasionally hallucinate while playing and poisoning its own context. That's what is the context poisoning is all about. And the context distraction is next another problem. In the context distraction is when a context grows so long that the model over focuses on the context, neglecting what it has learned during the training. This is yet another problem, right? Because if you're going to have these kind of problem, like as the context keeps on growing during an agentic workflow, the model rather gathering more information and build up a history, this accumulated context can become distraction rather than being helpful for the AI agent itself. That is one of the major problem. And then context confusion. So context confusion is when the superfluous context in the content in the context is used by the model to generate a low quality responses as opposed to generate a high quality responses. That is another problem as well. And finally, the context clash. As it names, it is going to be clashing the context, and instead of giving you the correct information, this is going to be giving you the information which is going to be more problematic over the context and will create the confusion among the context. So that is the other problem with this context. If you're going to be giving more and more context to your large language model from these tools and responses. So how does this context engineering solve the problem in that case? That is where the context engineering comes in, and this is one of the most important and interesting thing that we are going to be achieving using this particular context engineering. So basically, context engineering is the practice of dynamically assembling the right informations and tools in the right format to help language model progress through the tasks. That is exactly what is the context engineering. And using this context engineering, we can help pass the right informations and tools to the large language model so that it can get the right information based on the task that we are going to be achieving to get it done. So we can do it by using the methodologies like writing, selecting, compressing, and isolating. So what exactly is this writing, selecting, compressing, and isolating? Well, writing is especially when the AI agents, while they are working with a lot of different operation in one single tool, and while they get a lot of different responses from those tools, instead of just accumulating those into its own context and then passing over to generate one new response based on another query, it can now go and write on a scratch pad to store all this information for a long running work. So especially like Cursor, Windsurf and all these company, they used to use this concept of scratch pad, which is actually being introduced by Claude as well. So you can write all this information on the scratch pad or in the vector stores or any data stores, so that it stores all the information in one by one phases, pretty much like human being does. Like they write everything in a notepad and they store all their work, so that in next time while you're gonna refer the same information, instead of just going and pulling all the information from whatever it has learned, it can go and grab those information directly from the context instead of doing it all over again. So it reduces the token tremendously. That is one way of doing it. And then by selecting it, and again, selecting is pretty much like a follow-up of the writing. So this selecting is the selection of the right information from the right source. So especially if the AI agent thinks that the information is sitting on the scratch pad, then it's going to go and choose those information right from the scratch pad instead of choosing it from the database itself. So that is how it is going to be doing over here. So that is the selection process. And then the compression process is the next most important thing. So this is especially like the compression of the context. And this is all written by the Lance, who is from the LangChain, who has actually written all this information in an even more beautiful way, where he told that by using this concept of the context compression, we can actually reduce or maybe summarize the total number of the context in much better fashion to be given to the AI agent, so that the AI agent will have the clear context and the LLM will have the clear context to get you the response that you're looking for, instead of getting you all the information in a more hallucinated way and getting an over bloated tokens for that matter. So this is the compression which plays a key role. And finally, isolation. Again, this diagram, I have taken it from the Lance blog directly, and I'm gonna show you how that actually looks like. Even in Lance, like they said, like the isolation is a phase where you are going to be isolating the tasks to multiple different agents by giving a correct context to one agent and another context to the another agent, and then you can parallelize the computation with isolated context window without over bloating your one agent with quite a lot of different context and not exceeding that context window itself. So that is all going to happen with the isolation process. So these are some of the most critical way that we can think of while designing a context engineering, and these are really good information I can see that we can use while learning context engineering itself. And I can quickly show you the Lance blog one more time over here. Like based on Lance, he has said like the context engineering for agent, and he has given the information like writing context, selecting the context, compressing the context, and isolating the context, and has given all the information over here. And the last thing that he think that the better way of doing or working with a larger context is by doing a context compression, which involves retaining only the tokens required to perform a task by doing a summarization of the context instead of passing the entire context by overflowing the context windows and things to the large language model. And this is pretty awesome. So these are all can be easily achieved to make your large language model to get you the right responses in a right format. And I hope you got the entire idea, and I'm quite inspired by all these blogs and things that I have learned over the period of time. I think that this is something that everybody has to know. I'm just sharing on behalf of them, and they have already shared as well. But again, if you really want to learn more about this information, just go ahead and check out their blog. But this information is what makes us really understand how these AI agents are going to be really getting more and more better information to us by giving them the right context instead of just the prompt, by fine-tuning the prompt, but also context plays a key role while you design an AI agent and making it production grade. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video. Catch you in the next one.